many brain cells do you think I have left? Chicken sandwich, French fries stuff. You're like, what? What are you talking about? And then I remember out of my right corner seeing 5'2" Frank flying out of my in a Superman. I was young, very, very young, singing. I mean, I used to be a good singer. It was my mom started me on Elvis and, you know, the old renegade country stuff, and, you know, that was cool to me. You know, I loved singing that stuff. I loved imitating Elvis, and, you know, it got me singing in a church choir, you know, which was weird. But I did it, and it taught me a lot. And locally, I mean, I was nobody. I just wanted to be in a band, you know. I wanted to sing or, you know, play the triangle or whatever, you know. I didn't care. I just wanted to be in some band, you know, that was active and playing out. And singing is a loose term for me because I was, you know, it was new. I hadn't done anything since high school when I hooked up with you guys, you know, the Trash Can Muffy thing with Eddie, you know, Eddie Calson, and Frank and Nate, and Carl Mustard was their singer at that point. I wasn't, I was very new to the scene when all that was going on, you know, so, I mean, I was green as green could get, you know, so I was looking for any way to just get into a band and enjoy the weekends, you know, some other way besides sitting at the table and being an observer. So, influencing locally, I mean, I'd say the local guys that influenced me around here, you know, you had, you know, Max Havoc, and that was one of your bands too, right? With Ryan and Scott, yeah, Wes. Yeah, and the super group, you know, they formed with Frankenstein, you know, like hearing them guys was like, holy crap, man. Another Ryan Rose extravaganza bastard. he's so damn good, you know. They're so talented. Him and Mike Lane, you know, just incredible musicians, you know. And I was always envious of that, you know, and I still am to this day because I don't consider myself a singer. I consider myself a growler at best, and I carry a tune in a bucket at this point, you know, but. And that's barely, you know. But playing guitar, that's a whole other realm in itself, you know. I can fat finger some chords and stuff, but I'm no guitar player, you know. You got Josh Thompson, you got Damian Dickerson, you know, and it's just they're incredible, man. You know, all those guys are just they're on another level. Right. Yeah. It's like, well, maybe I could play drums. No, I can't do that either. No. So, right, and killer drummers around this area, you know, yourself included, you know. Hell, you have amazed me, you know. Josh Starkey's another incredible drummer in the area that just blows me away, you know. They're just the talent that this area holds is phenomenal, and it's amazing that not more have gone on to bigger things, you know, here. So, high school, I was in a high school band. It was a garage band. It wasn't even really a band. It was just some guys that were like, hey, my dad leaves his beer open in the garage, you know, in the fridge, and we can set up in here and we can steal his beers and play to friends and stuff. It was a band called Problem Had a lot of fun with it. Didn't last very long. Again, I got the bug, you know, for being in a band at that point. I think it was just, you know, say there was people, you know, there was 5 people in front of me. It was amazing. What a rush, you know. It was a good feeling, you know. That feeling, you can't explain it to anybody that doesn't play, because it's kind of it's a different thing, you know.
Right.
It's a different realm all to itself. You step on stage and you got people in front of you, and they're reacting to what you're playing. It's like, just, yeah, it's all its own high. Influential, you know, influences range from, it's weird because it's, like I said, it goes back to my mom, you know, and gospel music and Elvis and the renegade country stuff, you know, Waylon and Willie and Johnny Cash. Yeah, just outlaw country, you know. It's just, I love that stuff, you know. It spoke to me, and then I don't know, probably in 16, 17 years old, you know, hearing Dio for the first time, and the way he wrote lyrics, you know, was just very lyrical and theatrical, and Ozzy, of course, and Black Sabbath, and just hearing that stuff was like, whoa, it was like a new awakening for me, you know. I'm like, oh shit, this is amazing, you know, I've never heard this before in my life, you know, and I was hooked on it, you know. And then, you know, comes the singing part where, you know, I was church choir, and I was a tenor in church choir, and you know, but it was very clean, you know, and then all these, I'm hearing all my influences, you know, that are just raspy, you know, and you're like, I can't sing like that, you know. So, and it's just, you try though, you know, and I kept trying, and it got better. I wouldn't say it was great, but it got better, you know. So as time progressed and more shows happened, you know, it got a little better as it progressed, you know. So lyrically, when I write music, it's the same thing. I try to I used to just bounce it off of whatever flowed, you know what I mean? So lyrics and words came to me, whatever flowed, you know. Does this fit here? No. Nowadays, it's more, I'm thinking about more personal experience and just trying to tie it all together, you know, write stuff down and then come back to it and then say, okay, you know, how can I make this into, you know, a song, you know? So, more about childhood and, you know, just stuff that people can relate to that related to me, you know.
Well, some of your mother's mistakes are pretty dark.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was, yeah, no, you know, like I said, I could have spent a lot more time on that stuff, you know, especially the singing parts, you know. I was like, oh god, and I still cringe. I mean, it was a fun CD to do, and it was, I enjoyed working with everybody, you know, you and Frank and Nate, and even Eddie at times, you know, just because he was, you know, a goofy bastard, you know, that played, you know, and it was like, you know, it was fun, you know, but everything just, to me, when I hear something, especially my own voice, it's like, fuck that, you know, Jesus Christ, why didn't they hire another singer?
What do you think I'm trying to say anything like
So they can't see your face, you're agreeing. Right, fuck, we could have had another singer. But no, it was, you know, it was lyrically, I you know, that was fun to do that because everything kind of flowed, you know. Here we had, you know, I like writing with a riff, you know, that's a riff that's already done, or a riff that's started, and somebody goes, here, can you put words to this? And it's like, okay, and come back and go, okay, we need a bridge here. I need to break this up to, okay, so we got a good verse, or we got a good chorus, you know, and kind of back and forth with it, and then it seems to work out that way. That's how I like to write.
Right.
I can't sit down with a guitar, it seems, that I'll play, and for some reason, I don't call it a block or whatever, but I can't sit and play guitar and then have lyrics pop into my head. I have to, you know, if somebody else does it and gives me the riff, and I love doing that. But with me doing it, it's like, I'm too fumble fingered. You know, I'm too concentrated on what the hell I'm playing. Yeah, and not concentrating on what mood it puts me on or what I want to say. You know, so it's a double-edged sword when it comes to that. I can write, but I gotta have input from other sources. You know, which is what makes a band. You know, what makes musicians come together. In all honesty, you know, it's everybody collaborating to make something good, you know. So locally, I mean, shit, I didn't play with a lot of people locally, man. I mean, you've always been a favorite. I mean, hell, you let me pour beers down your throat while you were playing. So
just drown the drummer.
Nate's always fun. I mean, got up with Glenn Denham had a band there for a little bit. I'm not sure. I was out 6 sheets in the wind one night when they were up on the stage in Beacon, I believe, and got up and did Sandman with them. Josh Thompson was playing guitar that night, so I did get to jam with him. I mean, just talent, man. I mean, I'm always in awe of that, you know, and I'm always and super envious, you know, because that's a goal, you know, but my lazy ass doesn't, you know, don't take the time to go, okay, I can check on the scale and
I can learn this cool
learn this, yeah. God, that ain't nothing. Yeah, it is something, you know, that it's something for them to brag about. So if you get them in front of the camera, I mean, that's something for them to brag about. They should be proud of that, you know, because no matter how hard I try on guitar, I suck at it. So, I mean, but again, I'm left-handed and I attempt to play right-handed, and
that was a lot of Frank though. I mean, that was Master of Puppets.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of brought that into it.
Got to be authentic with the role of James Hetfield, and it was I don't know. Frank was fun to jam with. I'm not going to take anything away from him. You know, he was a school musician. We just saw things differently. Career highlights. Playing overseas. I mean, I got to get out of the United States and play overseas for the troops. 3 different countries. Jordan, Qatar, and Al-Udeid. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's more of a purpose, I guess. It was one of those things, you know, you had a chance to do it. The agent called and said, you guys want to play Metallica for a bunch of troops? And what was cool about it is they weren't just American troops. They were, all the coalition troops were there too. You had Britain, you had the Swedes there, and you know, just all kinds of countries melded together on this base, and you got to play for them. And it was all universal because, you know, doing the tribute thing, you know, with Metallica, it's universal, you know, so everybody knows Metallica. So it's like, it's just a rush, you know. You don't think about it like we did. We were scheduled for 90 minute sets. The first time we went to Al-Udeid, and scheduled for a 90-minute set, and we played 3.5-hour show nonstop in 108-degree heat. It was brutal. I mean, I literally could wring out my clothes at the end of the night. I mean, it was just whoosh, you know, but it was worth it, you know. Those guys are working 12, 16-hour days in full gear in that heat, doing what they have to do to make us safe here.
So we can do this stuff.
Yeah, so we can sit here on a couch and be comfy and go, look at me, I'm a great musician. You know, it was amazing to me, you know, and them guys came out, you know, they didn't have to, you know, they're getting 1 day off out of 7 days. They're working mega hours in full gear. They get 1 day off in 7 days. They get time to do their laundry and catch up on sleep. And some of them, you know, most of them decided we're not going to do it. We're going to come and enjoy a show and have our 2 beers in the 24-hour period that we can have them, you know. So it was really cool, you know, that they showed up, and you know, we tried to give them everything that we had, and I literally just about did. I mean, it was so hot and pass out hot, and they kept bringing up Gatorade and, you know, cold towels and throwing them on us, and you know, but that experience is always going to be with me, because it's amazing. You get a tour of the base and security forces and EOD stuff and explosive ordnance division, you know, just bomb robots, and they let me drive a big MAV, which is a giant fucking vehicle that's like $3 million vehicle, and they're like, you want to drive it? And I'm like, do you want to keep the vehicle? Because I'm going to wreck it. It's ridiculous. They're like, no, you can drive it. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, it was just those experiences, you know, and they're kids, you know, they're 18, 19-year-old kids, you know, so that's one of the most memorable times for me. Jordan was another show where, you know, you're on that border, you know, you're on that Syrian border, and there's right over the hill where you're playing that base, you know, they're killing people, you know, and it's like just it's a mindfuck, you know, because you're like, you know, they're like, okay, stay in the van until we tell you to get out of there. 2 weeks before we got to Jordan, a crew of Marines were cruising down that road and had to stop at the Syrian checkpoint before they got to the base. At the Syrian checkpoint, the Jordanian checkpoint, and they were killed because the Jordanian guard turncoat went to Syrian rebel and killed all those guys. And so we're coming up on this checkpoint, you know, and the guy's telling us, you know, driving us from the airport, you know, he's like, don't look at this guy, don't talk, look straight ahead and just pass your passports forward, and we'll take it from here. Don't make any sudden movements, you know, just do what you're told. And that freaked me out right away, you know, and I'm like, what? You know, what's going on, you know? And again, a great show, very small base, but it was just, they had what they had set up for them guys, you know, when they did have a break, you know, it was amazing. You know, they had a bar and pool tables and lounge, you know, area, and then they had a little stage, you know, for groups like us to come in and entertain them. You know, and we played a long show there. Every time we've gone overseas, we've played way longer than what we should have, because it's something, 3.5 hours compared to what these guys are putting in, you know, every day is shit to us, you know. We're like, yeah, I play all night if they'd let us, you know. But, and then it was cool because the base commander, you know, we played Star Spangled Banner, of course, at every show, and the base commander liked it, you know, and he's like, tell you know, called me over to the corner of the stage and was like, tell them all that, because that's awesome, man, you guys, that was cool, you know, and he's like, tell everybody that they can have an extra beer tonight, you know, and you're like, you take that kind of stuff for granted, you know, because back here in the States, you know, you drink whatever you want, you know, whenever. These guys get 2 drinks in a 24-hour period, you know, that's all they can have, you know.
And I seen actually a couple videos from when you guys played over there, and I don't know which country it was, but it looked like, I mean, the crowd that was there it looked like it was like the ultimate release for them. Like they hadn't been.
It was the feedback, the singing along. I mean, there were songs where I didn't have to sing, you know, because they would take it over, which is
For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yeah,
I think that was one of the videos I saw.
And that and like, Memory Remains, the lady part on the end, you know, I forget her name.
Oh,
Marianne Faithfull.
Marianne Faithfull.
They took over, you know. It was like, and you just stand back and you're just it's a rush, you know. It gives you, you know, you're about to the end of your rope and you're like, holy crap, I can do 10 more songs, man. Let's do this, you know. I mean, Jesus, man. How many brain cells do you think I have left? It was a lot of things. I think a lot of the fun times were jacking with the roadies, you know. Yo, you're laughing because you know. Mike Noblin, I know you're out there,
Sleeping on the steering wheel like it was a pillow.
Oh yeah, sitting on the steering wheel.
While driving.
While driving, yeah. In a ditch at 60 miles an hour. Yeah, the toilet paper stuffed in the shower head.
The turd in the RV.
Yeah, turd in the RV. The chicken bone voodoo necklace that caused us to wreck an RV. I don't know where that came. I think it was Mike, wasn't it? Nate's uncle. Two below and two below.
Okay, what about the? Do you remember the drunken brawl above the Yankee Clipper?
Oh Jesus. Yeah. That's a bike gang, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't remember the name. I'm sorry, bike gang guys out there. There's some methed out maniac played a show up there. You know, the 7-day gigs at the Yankee Clipper, and the band house was above the bar, which is a perfect idea. And everybody was trash, and they come upstairs and they party after the show. And this guy come up, and we were selling our CDs, and the guy threw the CD. I remember that. And Nate jumped on him, and then Frank jumped on him, and then I don't know how it all worked out, but I remember seeing him in the street, and the guy calling Frank out, and Nate out, and us out, and then...
Well, if I remember correctly, me and you went down to try to calm the guy down.
Yeah, that's how it was, man. Mellow out. And the guy was like, chicken sandwich, french fry stuff. You're like, what? What are you talking about? He was completely out of his mind. I mean, the guy was completely blown. And yeah, we're sitting there trying to talk the guy down a little bit. And then I remember out of my right corner seeing 5'2" Frank flying out of my in a Superman, like completely knocking this guy to the ground. This guy was like 6'8". He's crazy tall, and Frank's a little guy, so it was funny because it was just like seeing him parallel off the ground and just fly over me and in this guy's face, and I was like, oh my god, here we go. And it was like, what was funny was the cops were on that corner
sitting right
watching the whole thing take place. Marge, the bar owner, Frank and Nate went to jail.
Oh, and she lived in Iowa.
Yeah.
So me and you had
to go over to her house after the show. Yeah, after that whole incident, and say, hey, we need bail money. Frank and Nate are in jail. Because, I mean, they kicked the crap out of that guy, but that guy just kept getting up like he was Jason, sitting up and was like, holy crap, man, this guy's not going to die. Yeah, I mean, it was more just drinking. I mean, that was just heavy. I mean, luckily I don't do that much anymore. But no, it was battery was more of a drinking thing. We at the end of the night you get short cash, falling down, and the guys in the other room listen to death metal, Cookie Monster vocals and shit.
At 400 volume.
Yeah, at 400. And the hotel desk calling you up, hey, turn that down. So, you get that, and then you get the knocking at your door at 11. I've been up since 9, and the rest of the guys are still asleep. You know, hey, we're gonna kick you guys out. I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. They just went to sleep 2 minutes ago. Remember the backdrop giveaway? That was Marge chewed my ass for that. And the whoever can drink this glass of tequila gets this fucking backdrop. It's like, you're gonna kill somebody with that. You didn't die, you just passed out. Legendary. Jesus. Ryan's got to be in there, man. I mean, Ryan, Mike Lane, Bob Moulton. You know, they're just, you when you were a local, when I was starting out in this area, hearing them and then hearing any other band, you know, it's not insane. You know, it's like, I mean, not cutting any other bands out. Crap, them guys were on a completely different level, you know. So I aspired to be better through watching that, watching them. You know, I was like, you know, oh shit, I suck.
Jinx, remember Jinx?
Yeah, Jinx. I mean, Jinx. Yeah, I mean, holy crap. I meant to mention them earlier. Yeah, Jinx and Havoc and, you know, and the old Doc Rock days, you know, and you know, it was just, I was DJing there, you know, so we got to see all those guys come through and have a lot of fun, man. So, yeah. And again, I was up in the DJ booth, like, I wish I did, you know, spin another tune, guy. Shut up. Okay. Fighter Jet Pinups and this one's Pink. Yeah, those guys. You know, but I don't. Ryan's, you know, acoustic gig, solo Rhino, and you know, and then Mike Lane. You know, he was doing his thing for a while, and he went to Florida now. Yeah, but he comes back every once in a while, does shows and shows up everybody, and makes everybody look foolish, and then leaves in Florida again. Jerry. Yeah, Jerry and his wife, and well, the Road Less Traveled, and them guys too, you know, 3 Times a Lady, and you know, they're all incredible musicians.
JL and
right, yeah, JL. I mean, his whole incident with, you know, the stroke and just, I mean, how he's bounced back, and I mean, I'm amazed that he's playing again. You know, holy crap, you know, that's, to me, that's talent, that's perseverance and talent. You know, you get a guy that plays that well and then says, I'm gonna stroke out, and then I'm gonna come back in a few weeks, and I'm gonna be playing another show here. So, holy crap! It's slowing down. I mean, I really slow down, and you know, I'm gonna do more Metallica stuff, but it's probably gonna be, it's definitely gonna be in a more limited basis. You know, like I said, I work 12-hour nights, and I have my kids every other weekend, and I'm not going to give up the kids to continue playing the Metallica stuff. I like playing on occasion with them, you know, which makes actually playing the shows a little more stressful, because it becomes crunch time. You know, I got to sit down and run through an entire set, you know, and get my fingers used to playing that stuff. And then again, singing it, you know, growling again, you know, and it's nerve-wracking, you know, up until the point you get right up in front of the crowd, you know, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna suck, you know, yodel, what's gonna happen, you know, but that, I mean, doing that on occasion, I see wanting to write more, you know, I really want to write more. I want to do more independently with everybody as much as I can, you know, doing a really off the beaten path album with local musicians. Everybody that wants to get involved can be involved, you know, I welcome it, and I've got a few on board, which is cool. I'm not sure if I can say their names on here or not, and, you know, I've got a few on board, and they already said yes, so I'm really cool with that. Doing a Christmas album, and it's something that's never been done here in this area that I'm aware of anyway. You know, we're local musicians, and it's not going to be a We Are the World kind of thing. You know, I just want musicians to come together, maybe, you know, do a Christmas tune, you know, all downloadable from some source, you know, where you can download the album for $10. Everything's going to go, there's not a dime that's going to go back into anybody's pocket, but there's a charity here in Peoria called Lula of Peoria, which helps the growing problem of homelessness here in the area. So there's a lot of, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but there's a tent city that's popped up, you know, under bridges, you know, more tents, and they're needing stuff, you know, they need food, they need supplies, they need medical care, you know. Anything that goes into Lula goes directly to those people, you know. It's a great service that they're doing. They don't recommend people going under the bridges and going, here's a hamburger, you know, because it's their home now, you know. They don't like intruders, you know. It's like somebody walking into your home going, hey, give me your pizza, you know. It's a serious thing, and it's growing because of this pandemic and businesses closing, and you know, people got nothing now. You know, they're limited sources, and there's nothing left for them to do but keep living, you know. And so I figured by this time next year, you know, by Christmas next year, I'm hoping that this takes off and we can all get together somehow, some way, and you know, each of us do a song or get our band together, get your band together, and record a Christmas song, you know, and put it on MP3 so we can put it on the interwebs and then let everybody, you know, purchase them as singles or as an entire album. You know, I'd like to get at least as many people as I can on board with it. And I thought, you know, local musicians would be the perfect thing. You know, it's something different. It's something out of the ordinary, but again, it's something that might capture the attention of, instead of a limited crowd, we'd have a much wider crowd with the Christmas music. So you're going to have the older generations and the younger generations, and you know, and everything in between going, oh, this is really good, you know, and it'll highlight the musicians that we have around here. You know, they're not just a scream metal band, they're not just a country band, they're not, you know, they're not just a pop band. They can do this, you know, and it's for a cause that's not going to go in anybody's pocket, but back into the community to help people that need it. So that's what I want to do. That's my, at this point, that's my big goal. I want to be able to get that together. Right now, resources are tough to find. So if anybody out there knows somebody that's willing to record, that's the biggest hurdle that I have right now, is somebody that wants to record bands or single musicians doing a Christmas song. You know, pick their favorite, do the Christmas song, and
I remember when you contacted me, like pretty much, like genre is not even really issue.
Right. It's not. I want it to be mixed. I want it to be, you know, country and rock and heavy metal and, you know, whatever we can put in there. But I want, you know, so everybody can relate, you know, and maybe not make a CD, you know, make it. Thanks to Brian Goodluck on this, you know, he suggested, you know, making it a, you know, online thing where you can purchase the album
or download,
you know, download songs or download the entire album off online, and you know, that money is going to go directly into something that's needed, you know. So, and I said it, and I said we've got some good guys on it already, guys and gals. So I think it's at a good start. I've kind of taken some time last few weeks, you know, after I talked to you about it. It's been kind of in a lull because I'm pondering on how we can do this if people have their own recording studios at home, or, you know, the recording software at home that they can just record it off their computers, or however it's going to work, you know. But essentially, you know, I want it to be a polished product, and I want people to hold that, you know, and say, wow, you know, this is all of us, you know, we came together, and it's not a thing. It's a we're a community together of musicians that wanted to help.
Blessed are the children, for their innocence is pure. Keep them safe and sheltered from persistent evils. Protect them from the clutches of a society gone bad. Show them that they're everything to you but a mother's mistake.
One cold night, the child was born. A mother's mistake, that was my name from then on. I grew up free, y'all laughed in the face of destruction. My first love was a mainline injection on a substitute day. And when you realize you're all alone, they have your number, but no one's home. You need somebody to change your ways. The hating goes to your heart decay. There was a girl I knew years ago. Like a ghost from the past, she haunted my everyday world. Innocence, she wore it well. Showed her my dark side, trapped her in my living hell. And when you realize you're all alone, they have your number, but no one's home. You need somebody to change your ways. The hating goes to your heart decay. You're the misfit, the outcast of society. You're the leper, no one will take your hand. You're the demon, shunned by the preacher man. You're unwanted, a mother's mistake. And when you realize you're all alone, they have your number, but no one's home. You need somebody to change your ways. The hating goes to your heart decay. You're the misfit, the outcast of society. You're the leper, no one will take your